Yo, check it. All right, guys, what is up? You are back. This is your weekly outlook and prediction, the time of the week where we give you macro outlooks of the stocks that we love in the overall stock market. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. Now, I set this one up a little bit differently, so you guys have to let me know if I did a good job in the comments down below on this weekly outlook prediction. But I look at the meme stocks first. I spend a lot of time on the meme stocks looking at what we need to look at, MOAS roadmap, fractals, levels, and everything else. And then I move into SPY and Bitcoin at the end. So let me know if you guys like this format, or let me know if I should switch it back to the way I used to do SPY, Bitcoin, and then do the meme stocks. But let's go ahead and hop in without wasting any more of your precious time. Let's hop in the charts, the facts, the data. Let's go. All right, guys, what up? You are back for another video with Datazero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, and SPY. This is your weekly outlook and prediction. This video is not financial advice and should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's go and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, show you guys exactly what we have going on for this week. Now, I want to go start off the video a little bit different than normal. We're going to be looking at the meme stocks. Again, this is a more macro outlook because this is a weekly prediction. So that's what we're going to be looking at here in this video. Tune into the live streams and daily outlooks and predictions for more micro outlook of what is going on for the meme stocks and stock market. So I want to point out a couple things that I've seen while doing research for this video. I wanted to show you guys that phase 2 is lower than phase 6. So you guys can see phase 2 had this dip down, but phase 6 is a higher range consolidation. I think it's very, very important that we're consolidating at these higher levels for AMC. If you look, this phase 6 looks very different than this pattern here, but not when you get down to the nitty gritty and start to study it. You still have this major drop off bottom, which is a low. Then you have a pop to the upside. That's exactly what we had here. And then also this shape that's happening right now is very, very similar. That drop down, that hard drop down to bounce back. I think we could start to see the meme stocks absolutely take off within the next week or two, okay? This is not financial advice. Do not base your trades on this. Do not YOLO on this. This is not dates, because this could actually happen all the way into next week. So we have this week and next week, okay, because it is the expiration date still of the 21st, and that is when the pattern seems to show that we start to take off. Again, even though Roaring Kitty's calls are not in play, the fractal still shows for AMC anyways, AMC, not GME, that's when we could see a potential move. Now, when in doubt, zoom out. I want to show you guys some things here on the macro as well for AMC and GME. These stocks are changing on the macro, okay? They're going on a bull run, in my personal opinion. This is just like when Bitcoin started its early bull run. It's got its first MACD green on the weekly, on the monthly time frame. You guys can see here on the monthly time frame, MACD started to go green for Bitcoin. We started to move sideways, slowly moving up, but building a bullish base. I believe that is what the meme stocks are doing right now. We got green monthly MACD. Of course, this will still take time, but I believe the meme stocks are actually going on a uptrend. I believe that they're bottoming. The stocks are going to start turning around and start pushing to the upside. We could experience squeezes along the way, and what the fractal is saying, we're going to experience something very, very soon. So I want to keep my eyes open, but I am very, very excited what this could mean for the meme stocks. We could experience something absolutely legendary that people couldn't even really fathom. Again, this is not to hype people up, but just for an example, and you've seen it with stocks like Carvana, they start to squeeze and build a uptrend while squeezing. They squeeze, come back down, but it's an overall uptrend. I'll see if I can find Carvana up. Here you guys go. So you guys can see Carvana squeeze to the upside, and you guys can see it's done it several times from the low. You guys can see that it's just been kind of moving to the upside, squeezing, popping to the upside, and then the overall uptrend. You guys can see this squeeze here, then an uptrend, this squeeze here, then an uptrend, this squeeze here. That is something similar to what the meme stocks could end up doing, which would be great for any apes who bought and hold and who do not see an overall return after this first pump. Now, that is very, very dangerous because it could create a massive amount of bag holders if you don't take profit. Again, I am not telling anybody what to do, but I will be taking profit if AMC absolutely starts to pump, okay? So if AMC sees this massive pump, I don't even care if we're going into some type of super cycle where you see squeezes and stuff like that and an overall uptrend. I'm taking me some profit, okay? You guys could do what you want to do, but I'm taking me some profit. I'm taking some risk off the table, and I'm collecting a bag. So if we do see this big pump to the upside where AMC runs to $20, $30, $40, I don't care if there's higher highs coming later. I am taking some of the money, okay? Now, I want you guys to see very, very clear what this fractal says. It shows you a big pump up, then another consolidation. What if instead of this time the pattern repeating where we move to the downside, we pump to the upside and continue going? This is a very, very exciting time for the meme stocks, and I am very, very excited to see what the future brings. Now, again, going back to the Mohas roadmap, I believe we're still tracking. Long story short, what I'm looking for is a pop to the upside, breaking above that $6 level. You guys can see that phase 8 kind of looks like a retest. I want to see us break above that $6 level, possibly retesting it as support, and then push to the upside. That is what I'm looking for to confirm that we are going to break out. And personally, in my personal opinion, that is when I will be trying to get in. Again, it will lead to a higher purchasing price, but it will lead to more surety that we are going to see a bigger pump to the upside. So I will be looking for that bull flag confirmation, and phase 7 and 8 does look like a falling wedge and or bull flag confirmation. So I will be looking for that structure before a bigger move to the upside. And of course, the fractal is saying around the 21st into the 24th. So again, that is over a weekend. So it could be this Friday coming up, or not all the way till next week. So if you start YOLOing calls and stuff like that, that is on you. And this could also not even happen. Okay, we could get to the 24th, the 25th, 26th, and nothing happen. Okay, so everyone has to do their own research. I'm following the fractal. The fractal has been very, very profitable. I'm going to follow my own technicals. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. Do not base your trades off of anything you see here. Now, me personally, I'm going in, and when I see that confirmation, I'm going to do what I need to do. But long story short, we have a very crazy week coming up for AMC. I'm thinking we're going to see a green week for AMC. We pulled off another green week last week. Now, of course, I wanted to see AMC close above the $5 level. Ironically enough, it closed at $4.99, which is absolutely insane. That is definitely crime. They didn't want those calls expiring in the money, but nonetheless, it looks like AMC is going to make a push for above $5, and it looks like this week we'll be able to hold $5, and by holding $5, it's going to give us that gamma ramp at $5.50 and possibly $6. If we see the stock move towards $6, that's towards that blast off zone, and things could start to get crazy. So, of course, we want to see AMC get above $5. $5.50 is going to be that next level of interest, but the overall bigger level is going to be that $6 level. I don't have all of the gamma and call options data right now because the week is not started yet, but once I do, I'll be able to see if there's any gamma ramps there and stuff like that, and I'll give you guys that information on the live stream. So, AMC key levels to look for is $5. We're going to see a break above that, move towards that $5.50 level. I think we're going to be able to break above it this week and hold that level. If we can break and hold $5, that's going to be the start telling us that this thing is getting closer to making a big pop to the upside. I think we're going to see a green week for AMC, and we did indeed see a green week last week, and that is what I called for. You guys can see a positive week if you look at the top of your screen here, a positive week of 1.63%. Now, let's go ahead and move into GameStop. Now, even though it's a red candle, we still had a positive week of 1.70%. So that was a green week, and I did call for a green week on GameStop. Let's move into GameStop and show you guys what's going on. And then also, guys, I just want to show you some bullish metrics here on the macro for both stocks. Green weekly MACD, green monthly MACD, Bollinger Bands constricted here on the weekly time frame for AMC above the blue medium line. That means a pop could be coming. And then also green monthly MACD for GME. As you guys can see, GME also has buy signals on the weekly time frame, which is extremely bullish. If I go ahead and pop on the Bollinger Bands, I'll show you guys as well. GME outside of the bands, which means it's literally making a parabolic move right now using the bands as support. So still outside of the bands. RSI, pretty overbought. So if we are going to see a pop, it needs to be soon to keep that momentum going. If not, we're going to start seeing the stock pull back. So we are still holding momentum. GameStop says we're still holding momentum, and we could still see another pop to the upside. As far as GameStop's fractal is concerned, GameStop's fractal from the 2020 run-up, aka Moelis roadmap, is saying that GameStop will consolidate before making one more move to the upside. Now, this goes against the theory of a super cycle, right? That we come back down. This pattern is going to eventually decouple. It's not just going to keep repeating the same stock pattern over and over and over again for a whole year, 2 years. It's not going to just continue the whole pattern over again. It's going to break, it's going to decouple, and that's when I think we could see that quote-unquote super cycle for the meme stocks, where we start to move up in a Carvana type squeeze, where it's a prolonged squeeze over time with several short squeezes. So this is what I'm looking at for GME. Fractal is still tracking, in my personal opinion. Basically says we consolidate before making a move up to these relative highs. So if you guys can see here, it would be consolidating before making a move up. It says this move isn't going to be happening for quite some time. So I'm really curious to see if GME's fractal still does continue to track. But AMC's fractal has been bar none. GME's fractal still is bar none. It called this big pop here a pullback all the way back to the downside. This bull flag pop, it called this pop here, and it's calling this consolidation now. So I'm very, very curious to see if this continues tracking. If it does, it says we will consolidate and have another move to the upside for GME. When that move does occur, maybe we'll take off, maybe we'll keep going. We'll see and talk about that when the time comes. But it does say another pop to the upside is coming for GME, and a pop to the upside is coming for AMC. It says that for both fractals. You guys can see here, pop to the upside for GME. And then, of course, you guys seen AMC's fractal that showed you a pop to the upside as well. It's to those relative highs. So that's saying GME would come up to about that $50 range, $45 range if this fractal was to continue to play out. So that's what we're looking at as far as GME fractal. As far as technicals are concerned, GME's main concern is this bear flag that we are breaking down out of currently and breaking above $30. Okay, the lowest level you want to see GME hold is 20. You want it to remain above that level. Roaring Kitty literally has 9 million shares at $23. So I believe we are building a floor that is more credence to the theory that they are indeed building a bullish base for these stocks to continue up. Again, this is just like the beginning of the Bitcoin bull run. You get your first little uptrend. I believe we're entering the disbelief rally and leaving the depression phase. So I believe that we're moving out of the depression phase, moving into the disbelief rally, which is going to lead into a bull run for meme stocks in this 2024-2025 range. So I think meme stocks are actually going to have a bull run, okay? Now, it's going to take a while for all this to come to fruition, so we're going to have to track it day by day, week by week. But I think the meme stocks are going into a bull run, and I think that these squeezes that we're seeing, these pops to the upside, are going to be what help us build that bullish base to give us more legs to the upside and eventually have these stocks trade at higher prices. And if you look at what GameStop is actually doing here, it's breaking out of a falling wedge on the weekly time frame. This is huge. There is no reason why GameStop couldn't do something similar to what Bitcoin has done, breaking out of the falling wedge and hitting a higher high. That is what a falling wedge calls for, and I have long talked about this on my channel, this massive falling wedge that GameStop has been in, and that GameStop could see a higher high. So I would not be surprised if GameStop hit $120, not financial advice, in the future. So as far as targets, what we could see for this move to the upside, Fractal says it's only going to go as high as 50. As far as what we could see for a potential bull run, I think we could see a high of the $71. If things get crazy, if short starts to cover, I think we squeeze off of this next leg up that the Fractal's saying, I think we could see a high of 72. But we're going to be looking at the $45 to $50 level first. Then we'll be looking at the $71 level. And then, of course, the all-time high levels for possible price targets for GME based off of the fractals and technicals that we have here. Again, the all-time high from the falling wedge, the gap fill at $71, and of course the fractal saying that 45.50 is going to be the peak of this next run. I think that meme stocks are setting up for another run. I don't think they're getting bearish. I think they are setting up for another move to the upside, in my personal opinion. I know a lot of people are scared of them crashing back down, but I simply don't think that is going to be the case. GME, if it does go under $20, we could see a bigger leg to the downside. But I think what GME is going to end up doing here is pulling back out of this bear flag, finding a bottom around $25 to $26, and then coming back for that $30 level. And I think it's going to take 30 and hold 30. And if it holds 30 this week, just like AMC breaking $5.50 or $6, GME will start to rally. And if you look at what GME has done, it has been coming up for a retest of this $30 level. Now, we do have this bear flag here on a smaller time frame, but once that breaks down, I believe we will find a bottom pushing to the upsides for the meme. So I think we'll see GME consolidate. And again, if we were to see a big pop to the upside again, that would really give us the legs that we need to really start moving. I don't think we're going to see a big pre-market pump like we were seeing before. Again, some of the excitement from Roaring Kitty is going down, but we really have a lot of catalysts. I think Roaring Kitty is going to be joining the board for GME. Again, that's just speculation as of this point. But based off of the shareholders meeting being placed on National Bring Your Cat to Work Day, also the memes that we've seen from Roaring Kitty as well, I believe Roaring Kitty is joining the board of GameStop, and also he holds 9 million shares, the same amount as Ryan Cohen. So I think it's very, very obvious that he's going to be joining the board, which I think will be extremely bullish and take the stock higher. If we get some type of positive news, bullish catalyst, that's all we need to set this thing off. Again, both of the stocks still with a high amount of short interest. GameStop slightly coming down, but you guys can see AMC at 15.86% and GME sitting at 14.86% as far as short interest is concerned. Shares available to borrow, they do have 900,000, so not as much ammo as they had before. Again, that's why I think we're going to have a bullish week for AMC and GME. 0 shares available to borrow for AMC. As far as cost to borrow is concerned, we did get a pop back to the upside. Okay, so 7.3%. So that is good. That is good. Looking bullish for this week as well. And then AMC sitting at 2.13%. We want to see that go a little bit higher. But yes, less shares available to borrow and higher cost of borrows. I think we're going to see a green week for the meme stocks. You want to see GME break and hold that $30 level, which could take us to 40, and at 40 there's going to be a mega gamma ramp where we could get a major push. There's still a lot of options activity at that 21st expiration date at the $20 calls, which are in the money. There's still a lot of activity. Even though Roaring Kitty has closed his position, maybe some people were replicating his trades, and we could still see some gamma from that overall time and expiration. So I'm very, very excited to see what happens for the meme stocks. I think we're going to be seeing a green week for AMC and GME. Now, let's quickly move into SPY, and then I'll quickly cover Bitcoin and then wrap up this video. I'm going to do SPY a little bit more quickly and then also give you guys the data drops that we have as well. It's going to be retail sales month over month, and then we're also going to have building permits. So those are the two things dropping this week that are major data sets that could have some volatility. Nothing real crazy, but this does give you an eye into the health of the overall economy. Now, as far as SPY is concerned, SPY is just looking really frothy to me. These valuations are looking really frothy to me. SPY just making more unsustainable rallies, in my personal opinion. I know people think that we are going on a massive bull run, that the economy is all good, but from the data, it literally says we have stagflation. I know that the Fed keeps saying we have a strong economy, blah, blah, blah. People living in the real world, we see that the economy is not strong and the government is literally lying to us. Now, my thing is, and again, this is not to get political, is how long can they pump this? Can they make it to the election? Again, that is all speculation, but I believe they are trying to hold this market, which is literally built on stilts, literally built on a tech rally bubble, AI madness, literally built on stilts by the Magnificent Seven, basically holding up the market. So literal stilts. Can they keep this going until the election? Because I believe that's their goal, to try to get it just past the election and make it the other guy's problem, or make it a problem after the election. That way it's not a problem before, which could cause absolute mayhem. Again, this is not political, but that is literally what I think is going on. That's why I think they keep telling you Bidenomics. They keep telling you soft landing, everything and anything to make you believe that everything is all good and we don't have a major problem. Now, again, these valuations looking really, really frothy to me. We have this major resistance level here at 543. So at 543, even major resistance level. If you can break above that, you would see a pop to the upside for SPY. SPY is bullishly consolidating as of right now, and it is above the bear flag. I'm thinking we'll probably see one more pop to the upside and then a pullback for SPY. But little to no room to run. I want you guys to see what is really going on here. And it's actually kind of crazy. When I was doing the research for this video, looking at the charts and what I'm seeing. So you have RSI sitting at 75 here on the daily time frame. Again, little to no room to run. RSI just looking really frothy, really high valuations. Also, this bearish divergence, you guys can see price continually drifting higher here on the weekly time frame. RSI drifting lower as we did not make a higher top, but RSI is overbought. So again, really frothy, really high. Also, look at this volume. It just absolutely looks abysmal the way it's dropping off of a cliff at these levels. You have volume trending in an overall downtrend. That is not healthy for a sustainable rally. You also have multiple, all of those turquoise lines, all of those lines you see are gap fills. Those are all gaps on the bigger time frames that will need to get filled. Again, gaps get filled 99.9% of the time. They don't always get filled. It's not a 100% thing. Nothing is 100% guaranteed in the stock market, but these gaps get filled a lot of the times. And if you have so many gaps, you have a very, very high chance that the market will be coming back down to those ranges, especially when you have multiple gaps in those ranges, in those liquidity zones. So again, I think we are setting up, and I've been saying this for a while, for a deeper correction that could last quite some time. Again, we haven't seen it quite yet. Every time the market really starts to fall, they kind of get it to hold its legs and pop it back up to new highs. But again, how long can this last? Built on this AI bubble. It is a bubble in my personal opinion. Some people might have a different point of view on that, but I think it is a bubble, a lot of hype and not a lot of results. You guys can see companies like Nvidia, which are valuations are not sustainable. You guys can see this RSI extremely overbought. You guys can see that it's outside of the bands. So again, these are extremely high valuations that you don't want to be holding for the long term. You guys can also see Nvidia with the RSI on the daily time frame sitting at 82, breaking down out of a rising wedge. This is indication that we might see a pullback in the market because Nvidia is the leading stock as of right now, holding up the overall market. If you see Nvidia start to pull back, you will see the market pull back. Normally, stocks pull back after stock splits. Nvidia has not yet, but that doesn't mean we couldn't see a pullback in the near future. And again, you guys can see this MACD starting to curl down, breaking down out of a rising wedge. Nvidia might see some bearishness here in the near future, as well as having multiple gap fills to the downside as well, even after the split. This new gap fill here sitting at about 112, 110. So I do think we will be pulling back for that gap fill, which would bring the overall market down with it. And then Apple is a new contender as well. Apple getting a major push above major levels after integrating with OpenAI. You can see multiple gap fills after breaking out of this falling wedge. Nice push to the upside, breaking above this critical level of 200, which I talked about. Now that we've broken above 200, we are trying to consolidate. But if you see Apple lose these levels and start losing about that 212, 210 level, it is going to be having to come back down for that retest. And there's no guarantee that it won't just fall through the floor because you did have this massive push up and we are not building any levels of support. Again, this rally looks very, very unsustainable in my personal opinion. And it's actually crazy seeing these things get pumped like this. I literally, in my personal opinion, believe these are getting pumped off of this news to prop the market up. Again, that is just my personal opinion and my speculation. But based off what I'm seeing here, this is just, it's not sustainable. And it's actually kind of scary what this could lead to. Coming down off the back end. Apple, you really want to see that whole $200 level hold. And again, if not, you could see things fall through. Apple's RSI in that overbought territory here on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame. So again, valuations looking very, very frothy and overbought conditions in my personal opinion. So I think the market is setting up for a decent correction to the downside. I think we'll see one more pop to the upside here on SPY, but that's going to lead to a pullback. And before I close up the video, I just wanted to show you guys NASDAQ as well. NASDAQ literally going straight up, multiple gap fills to the downside. Again, multiple signs that this is just simply unsustainable. Once this all does come back down, stocks like SQQQ will be more viable, but as long as the market keeps ripping, SQQQ will drop to new lows as the market continues to drop to new highs. But once it turns around, this is a stock you can use to play. And you guys can see RSI extremely oversold on SQQQ, multiple gap fills to the upside. So this is something that I will be looking at as well. But that's what I'm looking at for the overall stock market. As far as what I think we could see, I'm going to go ahead and go with a red week. I think we're going to see bullishness in the first half of the week, which will lead to more bearishness in the later half of the week, in my personal opinion. So I am going to go with a red week. Now, I did call for a red week last week, and I did get that one wrong. We did obviously have a green week, but I'm going to go ahead and stick to my guns and call for a red week here on SPY after some bullishness in the first half of the week. Now, I'm just going to quickly go over Bitcoin and wrap up this video. Bitcoin is looking a little bit more bearish, possible double top in play. If Bitcoin breaks below this 65.6K level, you will see it come back down to retest about 60 to 62K. So I want everyone to be aware of that move. That move could potentially be happening, but as long as Bitcoin doesn't break underneath, I would say 59 to 60K, it's going to remain bullish, as we literally do have a push to the upside and a bullish consolidation so far, which could lead to another move to the upside. We would have to break above, and this is still the same thing for Bitcoin because it's been trading in this range, 72,000 to be bullish and use that level as support. If we broke below that 59 to 60K range, you would see a bigger move to the downside, because the way we rose into this overall floor, you would see a bigger move to the downside. Bitcoin ETFs got in around 49, 50K. I don't think we're going to be going lower than that, in my personal opinion. I believe Bitcoin is actually making a new floor that's going to lead Bitcoin to much, much higher valuations, especially as time goes on. I believe things like gold, silver, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are going to do extremely well, especially for what I see coming here in the macro future. Based off of everything I'm looking at, I think those things are going to do very, very well. And I think the market will actually start to do more poorly. As far as everything as a macro outlook for the market, we have inverted yield curves. I think if we are not in a recession now, and this is not doom and gloom, this is just looking at the data. If you don't think we're in a recession now, I think we will be in an official recession in the near future, and maybe even something worse. Again, this is not doom and gloom. This is so you can get prepared and make money off of the moves. It's never doom and gloom. You can always make money off of the moves. If you know the moves are coming, you can prepare, position yourself appropriately, and get the bag. So it's never doom and gloom. It's just, how can I make money off of this information? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to have a red week for the overall market. I think we're going to have a green week for the meme stocks. And again, I do think the market will start to pull back, and that will help the memes run harder. And if it did pull back, that would help the memes run harder due to lack of liquidity. You do see short squeezes in bear markets. And if we look back in history, Volkswagen absolutely took off in the middle of a absolute dumpage in the overall market. So there's multiple reasons why. Also, they use blue chip stocks like Nvidia and Apple as collateral for AMC and GME short positions. So there's multiple reasons why tech and the market coming down could help the meme stock. But I think we're going to have an overall red week for the market, green week for the meme stocks, and I gave you guys the outlook for Bitcoin. This was your weekly outlook and prediction for this week. If you found the video informative, go ahead and drop a like. Press subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate it if you made it to the end of this video. I know it's a little bit longer one, but it contains a ton of information that you need to know. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
All right, guys, that was the video. If you found it informative, go ahead and drop a like and press subscribe for more content like this. Remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more DataZero updates. Right now, the Discord is going for $75 for a lifetime invite. Twitter is obviously absolutely free. Link down below is the Twitter and Instagram. Go ahead and give me a follow. And I appreciate you guys for watching to the end. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.